It's time for Morley Stanwood football from White Cloud, Michigan, White Cloud High School. The site tonight for Week 2 action between these CSAA Silver rivals. And these two teams did not play at all last year, as White Cloud did not have a football program, varsity football program last year. So this is the first time these two teams are seeing each other since 2008. I'm Jeff Roberts, bringing you tonight's action in Week 2. My cameraman and producer, Nathan Allen, senior from Morley Stanwood High School. And coming into today, both of these teams coming after a loss in Week 1. White Cloud fell 15-7 against Holton. And for the Mohawks, they come in after a 16-0 loss against Kent City at home down in Morley. And in that game, it was a good showing for the Mohawks. Rylan Nelson had 75 yards on the ground. Aaron Moore, the backup quarterback, had 75 yards through the air. Overall, 168 yards compared to 111 yards for the Eagles of Kent City. But 3 costly turnovers, all fumbles in the second half, proved a loss for the Mohawks in Week 1. So a team's got to pick up a win tonight here in Week 2. Both teams looking for that first win of an abbreviated 2020 pandemic-ridden season. And looking into tonight, like I mentioned, the Mohawks have won 12 straight against the White Cloud Indians, and overall the Indians, they have lost 16 straight matchups dating back to 2017. So looking for that first program win since 2017. In Week 8, they had that win here tonight in White Cloud. We have the kickoff next right here on 91.1, The Rewind. Almost time for kickoff here from White Cloud High School. Jeff Roberts bringing you the action tonight. Cameraman and producer Nathan Allen to my left. And the Mohawks, they'll kick it right to left. Receiving are the White Cloud Indians. Back deep for them, Trayvon Brunson, as well as Taylor Bodie. Kicking for the Mohawks, there's Rylan Nelson, the starting quarterback. He kicks it right to left with a big right boot. It's Week 2 action, MHSAA football. Both of these teams 0-1, looking for their first victory of 2020. And a low line drive kick fielded by Trayvon Brunson back at the 10-yard line. He looks for a hole. Breaking a couple tackles. He has the outside, but he's eventually brought down by Zane Moore, the starting middle linebacker and starting running back for the Mohawks. And the Indians, they'll start at their own 34-yard line. First possession here in this Week 2 matchup between the Mohawks and the Indians. And last week, not too much scoring between either of these teams. The Indians only 7 points, found the end zone one time. And the Mohawks could not find any scoring as they fell 16-0. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 34. Starting quarterback Mason Ruther. A running back to his right and 2 receivers out to the right and left. The snap, he hands it off. Hunter Kroink. He takes the ball and he's dropped back for a couple-yard loss. That's a loss of 3. It's 2nd and 13 now.
Chuck carries the ball, brought down by Zane Moore.
That's Hunter Chuck, the running back. A senior, 5'8", 170 pounds. It's now 2nd and 15, back to their own 29. Chuck now to the left. Dropping back, pass over the middle, through his hands, incomplete. It's going to be 3rd down and a long 15. Mason Ruther now 0 for 1 today, and he had him wide open. Intended receiver, Jaden Van Dam, down the middle of the field. I talked to head coach Joe Gorman of the Indians earlier this week, and he said he's going to have a good mix. Last week they had 20 passes and 30 runs overall, 50 plays ran. with 10:40 on the first quarter clock. Here's the 3rd and 15. Here's the handoff. Ruther, he gives it off, but cannot get anywhere. And there's another loss. 4th and 16 inside the 20-yard line now. See what the Indians elect to do. Looks like they'll punt. Going back for the Mohawks, Levi Schuberg. He trots back to about the 40-yard line of the Mohawks. Punting it away is Jaden Van Dam. Low snap bounces to Van Dam, but he collects it and sends one home. It takes an Indian bounce all the way back into Mohawk territory. It falls asleep at the 32-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Mohawks, and that's where they'll find their first possession here in week 2. And I talked to Art Campione, the head coach of the Mohawks. He said he's going to go with Aaron Moore, a junior quarterback that was backup last week. You see him here. He's under center. You'll see him under center. And here's that 1st and 10. He hands it off to Levi Schuberg up the middle. Rylan Nelson, pardon me, the backup quarterback on the run. There's a gain of 6. It's going to be 2nd and 4. I mentioned our Campione said he's going to go with a 2-quarterback set. When they're under center, it'll be Aaron Moore. In the shotgun, it'll be the senior Rylan Nelson. From the 38, the 2nd and 4. Moore under center. Here on the outside, there's Nelson again. A big gain for a 1st down. Up into Indian territory at the 49. It's going to be 1st and 10. And last week, in this T formation for the Mohawks, they had some good drives, especially in that first drive. They got all the way up to the 1-yard line of the Eagles, but could not punch it in. He was telling me that they're going to load up the box, and they're going to run that football a lot this week. Here's now the 1st and 10 from the 48. On the pitch, there's Veldkamp. He finds a hole on the outside, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 30-yard line up to the 28-yard line. That'll be 1st and 10. A couple big chunk plays for the Mohawks to start. Veldkamp, a big 6'4", 180-pound frame. When he finds a hole, the most athletic player on this team. And you saw it pay there. 28-yard line. It's a 1st and 10 quickly. This will be the 4th play of the possession, now all the way up inside the 30. Hands it off to Nelson. He trucks forward for a few yards. Looks to get about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Nelson, the ball carrier, from the 27-yard line.
They'll mark it down as 4 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 6.
2nd down for the Mohawks.
In that wishbone formation, Nelson, Veldkamp, and Langen in the backfield. And there's Van Langen who gets it on the outside, has a hole, but he's tripped up. A good open field tackle by Mason Ruther of the Indians. It'll be a 1st down, though, inside that 20-yard line at the 16, 1st and 10. Last week, Rylan Nelson, 75 yards on the ground. Here's the 1st and 10. There's Veldkamp. He misses a tackle in the backfield and gets back to the line of scrimmage before being brought down by Ruther of the Indians. It's going to be 2nd and 10. And Carter Veldkamp last week, he caught 5 footballs from Aaron Moore for 55 yards. Had a couple rushes as well. Here's the 2nd and 10. The Mohawks looking to score for the first time in 2020. Handing it off up the middle to Zane Moore. He trucks forward for a couple yards. It'll be 3rd and 8, a 2-yard gain for the sophomore Moore. And Coach Campione told me you might see 25 rushes in a row if it's working. As of right now, they are driving on this Indian team. Here's the 3rd and 8. There's a pitch. Veldkamp on the outside. Lead blocking is Rylan Nelson. He has the first down and more. Here's a hole toward the pylon. He's going to be just a bit short inside the 5-yard line, down to the 2-yard line for a 1st and goal. That was Veldkamp's 3rd touch of the night on this first possession in the 2nd toss play. And they've had a hole on that outside. Austin Cook the stop for the Indians. 1st and goal for Morley Stanwood. Aaron Moore under center. Handing it off. Rylan Nelson has a hole on the outside and scampers in for a touchdown. The first score of 2020 for the Morley Stanwood Mohawks. A Rylan Nelson run 2 yards. And the Mohawks take a 6-0 lead. And the Mohawks look to kick it through the uprights. Rylan Nelson, who just rushed in for the touchdown. He'll send it away. Carter Veldkamp, the holder for him. Connor Tronson, long snaps. The snap away, the kick. And it will not get there. So 6 points on the first possession for the Morley Stanwood Mohawks. Rylan Nelson punches it home. And the Mohawks take a 6-0 lead. Their first points and first lead of 2020 here from White Cloud High School. .5:22 to go in the first quarter. And the Mohawks did exactly what Coach Campione told me they were going to do. An 8-play drive resulting in a touchdown. 6-0 they lead, and they kick it right to left. Rylan Nelson, who scored the touchdown kick, sends it away. Taylor Bodie receives it, gets all the way up to the 40-yard line. They'll mark him out of bounds at the 38-yard line. And that's where the Indians, they'll start their 2nd possession tonight. I mentioned an 8-play drive for the Mohawks, all on the ground. Rylan Nelson led the way with 4 rushes, one of those being a touchdown. So White Cloud, they'll start at their own 38. It'll be 1st and 10. Looking to even up this ball game here. 5:18 to go in the first quarter. And the shotgun is Mason Ruther. 2 receivers to the right and left. A quick slant pass across the outside, but in and out of the hands of Taylor Bodie, the backup quarterback. It'll be 2nd and 10. That's the 2nd pass attempted by Mason Ruther. He's 0 for 2 on the day. In the backfield, Austin Cook to the left of Ruther. Here's the 2nd and 10. A 4-man front for the Mohawks. Another pass. He drops back, coming in his pressure, and completed the pass across the middle. A flag on the play, but there's Taylor Bodie on the run all the way up to the 29-yard line of the Mohawks. But a flag on the play. It looks like it'll go against Morley Stanwood.
Down by Levi Schuberg.
Levi Schuberg of the Mohawks, he makes the tackle. And the flag will go against the Indians, so it will come back.
Penalty goes against the Indians.
A delay. A legal man downfield, they'll call it. And that was a big 31-yard pickup that he's erased on the flag. We'll wait to see how far back they go. It'll be 3rd down for the Indians, and that would have been the first completed pass. They'll be driven back 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 15. 2nd and 15 from their own 33. The same set, shotgun with Cook to his left. Dropping back again. Bodie in the flat, near the numbers. He gets 7 yards upfield and is knocked out of bounds. They'll mark it at an 8-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 7. Ruther now 1 for 3 on the day with 8 yards. 3rd and 7 from the 41. And the Indians went 3 and out in their first possession, looking for their first down of the night. Ruther drops back, throws up a prayer, intercepted by Veldkamp of the Mohawks. Veldkamp had 3 interceptions last year for Morley Stanwood and gets his first one of 2020. And Morley Stanwood looks to add on to the 6-0 lead. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. They have it at their own 41. And Mason Ruther, he didn't set his feet. He was out of the pocket and just threw up a prayer that Veldkamp camped underneath like an outfielder in baseball. But here's the 1st and 10 from the 41. Giving it to Veldkamp is Moore. He muscles way up to the 47. There's a gain of 6. That was Veldkamp's 4th rush of the night. It's going to be 2nd and 4. 4:40 to go in the first quarter. And the Mohawks, who turned the ball over 3 times, one of those resulting in a touchdown for Kent City last week, they take the first turnover here. And on the 2nd and 4, a pitch to Rylan Nelson, who gets a big hit at the 45, but gets back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. It'll be 3rd and 4. Trey Brunson, the kick returner, and also free safety. He makes the stop for the Indians, 3rd and 4. They will put him back one yard at the 46, the 3rd and 5. Veldkamp takes the handoff, trying to push his way up to that 49, but only gets to midfield at the 50. Looks to be 4th and 1.
And number 55,
that was Carter's 5th run of the night. Aiden Kyling, number 55, makes the stop for the Indians, a junior at 5'9", 175 pounds. Looks like the Mohawks will go for it here at the exact 50-yard line. Aaron Moore under center, a wishbone set behind him. A whistle was blown and a timeout on the Mohawks. 3:11 to go in the first quarter. The Mohawks have a 6-0 lead. A timeout, and we're back for the rest of the first quarter next on 99.1 Rewind. It'll be a 4th and 1 from the 50-yard line. The Mohawks electing to go for it. After Veldkamp comes up short on 3rd down, and a fumble on the snap. It'll be a turnover on downs, but also a turnover for the Mohawks. Their 4th fumble of 2020 recovered by the Indians. And for the first time tonight, they're in Mohawk territory with 3:07 to go in the first quarter. And Moore on the snap, had it cleanly, went to hand it off to Carter Veldkamp, and just fumbled that football. It's now a 1st and 10 from the Mohawk 48 for the Indians. And that's where the Mohawks fell victim in week 1, were those fumble turnovers. Here's now the 1st and 10. Dropping back is Ruther. Has Taylor Bodie open in the flats, but it hits off his chest and down to the turf. It'll be 2nd and 10. Ruther now 1 for 4 on the night. That's the 2nd time we've seen an incomplete pass by Taylor Bodie that just hit off his hands. He did have to dive for that ball. But nonetheless, 2nd and 10 from the 48. Two receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Austin Cook in the backfield with Ruther. It's a play action, then hands it off to Cook, who gets a few yards up to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Indians. Cody Engstrom, the middle linebacker for the Mohawks, on the stop. Last week, Cody Engstrom, 10.5 tackles, leading this Mohawk team on the defensive side. It's now 3rd and 7 from the 45. 2 receivers to the left, a tight end on the right side, and 2 backers in the shotgun set. Here's the option. Ruther keeps it and falls forward for maybe a yard. But it'll be 4th down, not much, and they won't mark him for any gain. It's going to be 4th and 7 now. Zane Moore, the other middle linebacker for Morley Stanwood, on the stop. I mentioned no yards on the gain. It'll be 4th and 7. And being in Mohawk territory, it looks like the Indians, they'll look to go for it here on 4th down. That was Ruther's first carry of the night. He's in the shotgun on the 4th and 7. Dropping back to pass. He looks, throws. On the sideline, Taylor Bodie, who leaps and makes a nice catch along the sideline. But he dropped it at the last second. He did not corral that football in. It looked like he had control, but when he came down, it hit off the turf. So another incomplete pass to Taylor Bodie. And the Mohawks take over at the 45-yard line. 52 seconds and counting here in this first quarter. With the turn of possession, the clock should be stopped, but now it's already down to 40. 6-0, Mohawks lead. The 1st and 10, pitch to Carter Veldkamp on the outside. Rylan Nelson, the lead blocker. He has a crease and dives for the 1st down into Indian territory. He's down at the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Morley Stanwood, and they have been moving the ball. That's the 4th time we've seen a Carter Veldkamp toss to the outside on that right side, and it's been working. Under 30 to go in the first quarter. It'll be a 1st and 10 from the 44. Zane Moore, the lead backer in the backfield. A pitch to Rylan Nelson to the left side now. He cuts upfield, makes a juke all the way up inside the 30 and pushed out of bounds. It'll be another 1st down for the Mohawks. They are just taking chunks out of that Indian defense. It's going to be a 1st and 10 at the 30. Elijah Karen on the stop for the Indians. There's the end of the first quarter, though. The Morley Stanwood Mohawks have their first points and first lead of 2020 here on the road at White Cloud. We get set for the final 3 quarters. We step aside for a quick break. We have that second quarter next on 99.1 The Rewind.
Since 1995, ServiceMaster Clean and the Nostrand family have been cleaning carpets and upholstery, homes and businesses, restoring after fires and floods, and disinfecting COVID. And right now, ServiceMaster Clean will clean 2 rooms and a hall in your home for only $95, a savings of $40. 25 years this year, over 30 People's Choice Awards. Call on ServiceMaster Clean today. And now that the football is disinfected, let's get back to Morley Stanwood Mohawk football.
It's Mohawk football on 99.1 The Rewind all season long. Jeff Roberts alongside Nathan Allen, my cameraman and producer. It's a 6-0 Mohawk lead, and here's the 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. A pitch to Veldkamp. He has a crease on the outside, has a hole, breaks a tackle, and it looked like he brought it home, but the official will say he's out at the 10-yard line. Austin Cook pushed him out of bounds, the last effort for the Indian defense. No score on that play, but another 1st down for the Mohawks at the 10-yard line. It'll be a 1st and goal. That was Veldkamp's 7th carry of the night. Here's the first and goal, handing it off to Rylan Nelson. He finds a hole, breaks a tackle, and is spun up inside the 5-yard line. Flags come in flying. We wait to see on the call. He was spun down rather vigorously. It'll be on the Indian defense. We await what exactly it is. Looked like a face mask, and it is. It'll be half the distance to the goal. On the run, an 8-yard gain for Rylan Nelson. Also his 7th rush of the night. Carter Veldkamp and Rylan Nelson leading this Mohawk offense. Aaron Moore, the quarterback, who passed the ball 13 times in week 1, has not seen a throw here in week 2. He's now under center on the 1-yard line. Here's Carter Veldkamp. He skirts it untouched. And the Mohawks take a 12-0 lead with 11:07 to go here in the second quarter. That's Veldkamp's first touchdown of 2020. And this rushing game has been real big for the Mohawks tonight, and Art Campione. Zane Moore, the sophomore running back, has had 1 touch, but it's been Rylan Nelson and Carter Veldkamp the rest of the way. And they'll go for 2 here. They went for the extra point kick in the first try. It was no good. Here he goes, dropped it back. It passes Aaron Moore. He flicks it toward the pylon. A diving catch that falls out of the hands of Carter Veldkamp right at the pylon. It'll be no good. A 12-0 lead now for the Mohawks. 11:07 left in the first quarter. And they're just extending this lead now here from White Cloud High School. And as always, all of our games sponsored by Johnson's Automotive Repair off Northland Drive in Big Rapids. Serving the area with honesty and integrity.
I can't believe my car's struck by lightning.
I was talking to head coach Art Campione in his first season at the head coach for the Morley Stanwood Mohawks, and he was telling me how much he loved just the community of Morley Stanwood. Coach Hunty, who was the longtime head coach of Morley Stanwood football, Campione takes over for him. And this being his first season, he lives in Ada, Michigan, a 45-minute drive one direction every single day. But he does have coaching experience leading up to this. He was the Caledonia head coach in 2016, Kenema Hills in 17 and 18, and last season he was the Central Montcalm defensive coordinator, so he knows this Morley Stanwood team real well. As they kick it away left to right, a bouncing kick to Trayvon Brunson. He fields it off a bounce, has a hole up the middle. Toward the right hashes, just dragging Morley Stanwood up to the 40-yard line, and that's where the Indians, they'll start their third possession, 1st and 10 from the 40. And pardon me, their 4th possession here in week 2. Levi Schuberg on the kickoff effort. He makes the tackle. And the Morley Stanwood Sports Boosters asking, with the hit of COVID-19, the Morley Stanwood Mohawk Athletics needs all the support you can give. Contact Morley Stanwood High School for all the details on how to help this athletic department. 10:50 to go in the second quarter. 1st and 10 from the 40. Ruther dropping back to pass. He looks left, up the middle, hits off the hands of Carter Veldkamp. It was intended for Austin Cook. Nearly the second interception for this Mohawk defense tonight, and what would have been the second interception for Carter Veldkamp. It's now going to be 2nd and 10.
And right now we'll send a shout out to the crowd in the park over on the east end of the field. Yeah, nice to see you folks here tonight as well.
Ruther now only 1 for 6 on the day. Had 20 attempts last week. Here's now the 2nd and 10 from the 40, dropping back again. Dumps it off to Brunson in the flat. He breaks a couple tackles. Rylan Nelson, he wraps him up and spins him up toward the 46-yard line. 47, the officials mark him on the forward progress. That's only the second completion
Brought down by Belkamp.
for Mason Ruther tonight. Now 2 for 7. He has 15 yards to his name. He's 2 for 7. And that was the first time Brunson has touched the football other than on the kickoff returns. He's in the slot currently on the left side. The 3rd and 3 after the 7-yard completion. Pass toward the outside. It's caught. He breaks the tackle up to the first down marker, right at the 50-yard line. He's out of bounds.
Hunter Chuck with the reception for the Indians.
Hunter Chuck, his second touch of the night, his first reception. Ruther now 3 for 8. And there's a first down on the completion, 3 yards for Mason Ruther and Hunter Chuck. Ruther now 18 yards through the air, 3 for 8. Only 3 rush attempts for the Indians compared to those 8 pass attempts. And here's another on the outside. There's Brunson hitting off his hands toward the near side numbers. Rylan Nelson, a good pass defense. An incompletion now 2nd and 10. The Indians coming in after the program's 16th straight loss dating back to 2017. They won Week 8 against River Valley 29-0, but have not won since as a program. They didn't have a football team last year on the varsity level, but head coach Joe Goldman also in his first year here at White Cloud. He saw a lot of positives last week, a lot of young sophomores and juniors who moved up from the JV level. As here's the 2nd and 10, dropping back to pass again. Over the middle, the completion. There's Austin Cook, who breaks a couple tackles and gets some more inside the Morley Stanwood 30-yard line. A 25-yard reception. Ashton Van Langen of the Mohawks makes the stop. There's an Indian first down. That doubles Mason Ruther's yards on the night. He's now up to 40 yards through the air. That was his 4th completion. Eight minutes to go in the first half. 12-0. Mohawks on top of White Cloud. The 1st and 10, slung across the middle, but it's in and out of the hands of San Venema. He was wide open across the middle. Would have been a first down, but rather it's now 2nd and 10 with 8 to go in the first half. Sam Venema, also a cross-country star for the Indians, a dual-sport athlete just in this fall. Here's now the 2nd and 10. Pressure coming from the left side of the Mohawks. Pass toward the outside, and it's completed. Hunter Chuck again, his 2nd catch in 2 tries. It's going to be a 1st and 10 now at the 15-yard line. The Indians, they have something going here. And Mason Ruther, his 5th completion of the night. An official timeout. Head coach Joe Gorman of the Indians trotting over to the head official to discuss the play. It must have been that Hunter Chuck, he caught the ball, he misplayed his footing, and the whistle was blown dead without being touched by a Mohawk defender. Nonetheless, the play was blown dead. A 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line of Morley Stanwood. Indians looking for their 2nd score of 2020 and their 1st tonight. Here's Ruther on the pass toward the pylon, and it's picked off. There's Keegan Riggs of the Mohawks. He goes all the way trotting along that outside sideline, and there are no Indian defenders in front of him, and he trots home for a Morley Stanwood interception. Ashton Van Langen Not Keegan Rings, pardon me. There is a flag on the play about midfield. A couple key blocks along the outside sideline. Sprung Van Langen in for a pick six, but we wait to see the call. Looks like it'll be against the Indians as they are going into Indian territory. Some explanation between the outside field judge and Art Campione, head coach of the Mohawks. It was against the Indians. With 6:25 to go in the first half, second quarter. It's now 18-0. Morley Stanwood, they'll set to go for two. Aaron Moore under center. He rolls out right, flips one across the middle, intercepted by Trey Brunson in the end zone. It's going to be blown dead. That's the third score of the night. 18-0. The Mohawks lead the White Cloud Indians. 7:20 to go in the first half. We step aside for a quick break. Rest of the first half next on 99.1 The Rewind. (18-0). Mohawks have a first half lead on the road here at White Cloud Heights School. Rylan Nelson sends it left to right for the Morley Stanwood Mohawks. It bounced at the 20-yard line, fielded by Taylor Bodie. He's patiently waiting for a hole, but is gobbled up inside the 25-yard line up to the 24. And that's where the Indians will start this possession here with 7:20 to go in the first half, down 18-0. And the Indians on that last possession were all the way into the red zone at the 15-yard line when Mason Ruther was looking at the pylon on that right side. It was intercepted by Ashton Van Langen, a 95-yard pick six return for the junior safety. His first interception of 2020, the second overall tonight, and second of 2020 for the Mohawks. The Indians awaiting a play call here. Play clock down inside 5. They get the snap off, but a bad snap. Mason Ruther just puts his knee down. It's going to be a loss of 5. 2nd and 15. That was the second turnover tonight between these two squads. The first was a fumble by the Mohawks, which was no harm done. The Indians gave it right back to them. And then the pick six by Ashton Van Langen. Inside 7 to go in the first half. Mason Ruther 4 for 10 through the air tonight. He drops back again, slings it toward the near side hash, but it's over the intended receiver, Sam Venema. It's going to be 3rd and 16. Ruther 5 for 14 tonight. 40 yards through the air. 1 interception to his line as well. 2 backs in the backfield with him. He's in the shotgun. He rolls left across the middle to Taylor Bodie. It's complete. Up toward the 30-yard line. He's marked just short at the 28. A 10-yard completion to Taylor Bodie, his second completion tonight. It's going to be 4th and 6. No deep man for the Mohawks. The Indians look to go for it here on the 4th and 6. 5:20 to go. Clock rolling here in the first half. A 7-man front for the Mohawks. They send pressure, just getting it off is Mason Ruther, who throws it up to San Venema. Jumps up and makes the catch at the 41-yard line for a first down. That's the 4th receiver that Mason Ruther has completed a pass to in his 6 completions. But it's going to be called a false start. Did not see the flag on the play. They'll be pushed back to a 4th and long, 4th and 11. That completion is erased just like that. That would have been the 6th completion for Ruther, but nonetheless now a 4th and 11, and the Indians, they're set to go for it again. The snap, almost fumbled, but just dumped off to Brunson, who has the edge, and he has a hole. He's up across midfield, being chased by Cody Engstrom, but he won't get there. On the 4th and 11 from the 24-yard line, a big 76-yard completion for the White Cloud Indians. There's Trey Brunson, 76-yard reception. It's now 18-6, Morley Stanwood. That was the 2nd completion to Trey Brunson tonight, but of course the longest by far, 76 yards. He had a block on the outside. Levi Schuberg could not push him out of bounds along this near side hash. They'll look to go for 2. That's the 2nd score for the Indians of 2020. 4:47 to go in the first half. Here's the snap, rolling right. Dumps it toward the back pylon. A jumping catch made by Taylor Bodie, and the 2-point conversion is good for the Indians. They trail now 18-8, sub 5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Mohawks have a 10-point lead. We have the rest of the first half next on 99.1 The Rewind.
Deer just don't get it. They can't judge your speed. They panic when they see your headlights, and they bolt in any direction. Now you may get it, but you still can't.
18-8, the Indians of White Cloud putting up their first score here in week 2. Jeff Roberts bringing you the action tonight. And a high arcing kick that falls about the 30-yard line of the Mohawks, picked up by Levi Schuberg, makes a couple cuts, but is eventually brought down inside that 30-yard line. And the Mohawks, 4:42 to go in the first half. They start this possession up 10 points at their own 28. First and 10 from the 28. Aaron Moore still under center for the Mohawks, handing it off to his quarterback counterpart, Rylan Nelson, who muscles his way up past the 35, just past that 35-yard line for a gain of 6. That was the 8th time tonight that Rylan Nelson has ran the football. Also 8 carries tonight, Carter Veldkamp. The two of them, that offense has been running through them. Zane Moore, the sophomore running back, also has a carry himself. They mark it as a gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 35-yard line. Here's a pitch to Carter Veldkamp on the near side hash. A flag on the play is thrown. He spins up to the 42-yard line, but we'll wait to see what the flag is for. It'll be brought back, a holding call on the Mohawks. It'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So that run will be brought back. And the last time that Carter Veldkamp has ran the football before that pitch that was just brought back 10 yards. It was a touchdown run that put the Mohawks up 12-0. They're pushed back inside their 25-yard line all the way back to the 22. It'll be 2nd and long. Here's the 2nd and long, a pitch to the outside. There's Levi Schuberg. He has a block and has some space. Up past the 30-yard line and pushed out of bounds. The clock will stay running up to about the 34-yard line. A big gain on the first run from Levi Schuberg tonight. It's going to be 3rd and 5. Trey Brunson, who just had a 76-yard reception for a touchdown for the Indians, he brought down Schuberg in the secondary. 3rd and 4. 4 minutes now. Time is running on the first half clock. 49 minutes this first half has taken so far. The first half in week 1, we saw a 51-minute first half. Just blew by. Here's now the 3rd and 4. Carter Veldkamp misses a couple tackles, but doesn't miss the most important one. He gains maybe a yard. His 9th run of the night. It'll be 4th and 2 now. Joel Bradley, the nose tackle for White Cloud, he makes the stop. It'll be 4th and 2. Looks like the Mohawks, they'll be set to go for it. As of right now, that 2 yards does not look too scary. They are just running plays in chunks. Only the 2nd 4th down we've seen the Mohawks face tonight. They fumbled it on the last one. Here's now the 4th and 2. Rylan Nelson gets the handoff, looks for the outside, but is spun down. And they cannot convert. A loss of 2 on the play. And the Indians, they'll take back over with 3 minutes to go in the first half. They have time to score for the 2nd time if they can do it. They'll have the possession at the 35-yard line of Morley Stanwood. And it seems like the tides have turned here at White Cloud High School. The first few possessions for Morley Stanwood, they could not be stopped. Then a fumble on a 4th down, and the Indians, they have seemed to have the momentum here. Their 1 touchdown as they trail 18-8, a 76-yard completion from Ruther to Brunson. And a timeout called by Morley Stanwood. 18-8, the Mohawks lead, but the Indians, they have the momentum. The Mohawks call a timeout. We have 2:38 to go in the first half next on the Rewind 99.1. It's a 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 35-yard line of Morley Stanwood. The Indian defense coming up, a big 4th and 2 stop. Here's now Mason Ruther. Throws a sidearm pass. He was dropping back. It was just short. Intended receiver Hunter Chuck. That was the 15th try through the air for Mason Ruther in just this first half. Still 2nd and 10, 2:17 to go in the 2nd quarter. Second and 10 from the Morley Stanwood 35. 2 backs in the backfield. Mason Ruther takes the snap. He rolls out of the pocket left, doesn't set his feet, but throws a prayer downfield, and it looked like it was going to be completed to the intended receiver. That intended receiver, Jaden Van Dam, but Keegan Riggs, the cornerback, came up with a big hit midair, and it knocked out of his hands. It's going to be 3rd and 10, 2nd straight incompletion for Mason Ruther. Mason Ruther, a 5'6", 150-pound sophomore quarterback. He's real young, but he has 6 completions tonight, along with a 76-yard strike. On the read option play, hands it off to Trey Brunson, who breaks a couple tackles and reverses field. He has enough for the first down and more. Is pushed out of bounds by Levi Schuberg, but a big 15-yard run by Trey Brunson. An intended jet sweep toward the near side, but after breaking a couple tackles, the jersey nearly ripped off his shoulder pads. Goes the opposite way. It's now 1st and 10. And that was Trey Brunson's first rush of the night. To be exact, a 14-yard gain for Trey Brunson. Now at the 21-yard line of Morley Stanwood. It's 1st and 10. The clock runs, 1:57 to go in the first half. From the shotgun again. In the flat, Taylor Bodie makes the catch. Looks to set up an offensive play, but is brought back down in the backfield for a couple yards by Rylan Nelson. There's a loss of 3. It's going to be 2nd and 13. That's Taylor Bodie's 3rd reception of the night of the 7 made by Mason Ruther. In the 7 completions, 4 receivers have made catches for White Cloud. We've only seen 4 rushes from the White Cloud offensive attack. And here's number 5, Austin Cook up the middle. He falls forward for about 7 yards. It'll be 3rd and down, and a timeout by the White Cloud Indians and Joe Gorman. Under 60 seconds to go in the first half. Indians are knocking on the door inside the red zone of the Mohawks. We see what they can do next on 99.1 The Rewind. A 3rd and 7 for the White Cloud Indians. Head coach Joel Gorman calling a timeout to try and set up the offense. At the 16-yard line, a bad snap that brings back the Indians. Mason Ruther falling back all the way to the 34-yard line. It's going to be a real long 4th down. And a timeout by White Cloud again. 46 seconds to go here in the first half. We go through the scoring recap. The Morley Stanwood Mohawks had the first 3 scores here in week 2. Rylan Nelson, the backup quarterback, had himself a 2-yard rush. He tried the extra point with the leg, so it was 6-0, but he missed. Morley Stanwood then Carter Veldkamp, the second running back tonight. He had himself a touchdown run in the second quarter. And then on the defensive side, Ashton Van Langen, the free safety, had himself nearly a 100-yard pick-6 return. So only 2 offensive touchdowns tonight for Morley Stanwood, but they have those 18 points. And on the last possession for White Cloud, a 76-yard touchdown reception from Trey Brunson from quarterback Mason Ruther. A 2-point conversion was made worthy. Taylor Bodie caught the 2-point for Mason Ruther. That's how they have their 8 points, 18-8. The Mohawks, they have their first and retaining their first and only lead of 2020 here tonight. That was the second timeout for the Indians here in this first half. The Mohawks, they also have taken 2, 1 timeout remaining for both with 46 seconds to go here in the second quarter. It's a 4th and 22. Mason Ruther sends up a prayer on the left hash. And it looked to be almost picked off. It was tipped by Keegan Riggs and into the hands of Taylor Bodie for a first down. My goodness, Taylor Bodie. That's a White Cloud Indian first down on the prayer. That's Bodie's 4th reception tonight. It's now 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. The pass toward the end zone and nearly picked off by Rylan Nelson. He had a hand up and on it. It's now 2nd and goal. 9 for 20, Mason Ruther is tonight. He's 3 for his last 5, including a touchdown and a whistle on the field. There's 19 seconds to go on the clock. I think they're contemplating that there should be more time, as that was an incomplete pass. The White Cloud sideline yelling up there should be 27 seconds on the clock, and they put it back on. So 27 seconds to go in the first half, 2nd and 10, and exactly an hour into this ball game. Brunson gets the handoff along the outside, but he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and they lose 5 yards. Brought back to the 15-yard line, and a timeout by Joe Gorman. And the Indians will step aside for a quick break. The Indians knocking on the door next on 99.1 The Rewind. $20 seconds to go on the first half clock. Biller Insurance, though, proud supporter of Morley Stanwood Athletics. Get a free quote from Scott Biller to make sure you're paying for what you need. Find out more at billerinsurance.com. The 3rd and goal, the whistle blows the play dead. Another timeout by Morley Stanwood. We'll keep it right here, though. That's 2 straight timeouts called by the White Cloud Indians head coach Joe Gorman, and then the first-year man for the Mohawks, Art Campione. And these two offenses have been real polar opposites. It's been relatively working for both. 18-8 the score, putting up points. The first 18 points of 2020 for the Mohawks, but 17 plays run by Morley Stanwood, all rushes. And then for White Cloud, only 5 rushes compared to 20 pass attempts for Mason Ruther. And it was a much more balanced attack for Joe Gorman and the Indians last week when they fell in that game 15-7 to Holton. 25 plays for the Indians, 20 of them being passes. They find themselves in a big 3rd and goal at the 15. The shotgun snap, pass looking to the right. It was intended for Sam Venema, but it falls incomplete out of his reach. It's now 4th and goal from the 15.
Falls incomplete. Brings up 4th down for the Indians.
The 4th and goal, rolling back, throwing for the end zone. And he had a receiver there, but it falls incomplete. And with 9 seconds to go on the first half clock, the Mohawks, they'll take over at their own 15. Shouldn't expect to see a big play, but we'll see what Art Campione calls. He is the play caller for Morley Stanwood.
9 seconds left in the half.
They have an 18-8 lead, their first lead of 2020.
First and 10 from their own 15.
Looks like they'll just take a knee and let the clock expire. And they do. And that's where the first half will end as the clock ticks down to 0. An 18-8 lead for Morley Stanwood. A big first half for them. 176 total yards, all on the ground. We come back for a halftime report after a word from our sponsors right here on 99.1 The Rewind.
Hey, folks. It's your favorite announcer, Harry Carey, with Sam's Disposal. I just wanted to remind you that Sam's Disposal is the area's leader in garbage service. Hey, they have flat rates and no contracts with no hidden fees. Call Sam's today at 796-2952. Cubs win. Cubs win. Hey, everybody. I heard the moon was made of Swiss cheese.
Home is where the heart is. Since 1903, we've called the heart of Michigan our home. When you bank with us, your money stays right here, invested back into the communities where we work, play, and live, promoting economic growth and community service. At Isabella Bank, we care about our community because this is our home too. Isabella Bank. Bank local, bank anywhere. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Your car's transmission. It can be your best friend or your worst nightmare. One day you're cruising along without a care in the world. The next day your car is about as mobile as a big old hog on a hot summer day. Thankfully, the Napa certified techs at Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids specialize in fixing and rebuilding transmissions. They'll make sure your car runs so smooth you'd think it was a pickup line from Patrick Swayze. Paris Auto Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Northland Drive, just north of the airport. Schedule your appointment online at parisautosales.br.net.
Go the extra mile with Bader & Sons Company and the unstoppable John Deere Gator XUV 835. When other utility vehicles take a rain check, we help you take the wheel and enjoy the thrill of the ride. With factory-installed 3-wide seating, heating, and AC, the XUV 835 is our coolest, most comfortable Gator yet. Isn't it time you took a John Deere Gator for a test drive? To learn more, go to greentractors.com. From Southeast Michigan to the bridge, let the experts at Bader & Sons Company show you why we are outstanding in our field.
Deer just don't get it. They can't judge your speed. They panic when they see your headlights, and they bolt in any direction. Now you may get it, but you still can't anticipate when and where deer are and what they'll do. So Mecosta County Collision reminds you, be alert, wear your seatbelt, and if you can't avoid a crash, stay in your lane. Mecosta County Collision can expertly restore your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Your safety comes first. Mecosta County Collision, Northland Drive in Morley, 231-307-3101.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Williams. I just opened a new family practice clinic, Williams Family Medical. I see all types of patients from birth to geriatrics. I came back to Big Rapids because I grew up in Big Rapids. I have roots here, my family is here, my parents are here, and I feel really strongly about serving this community. I originally thought I was going to be a physical therapist. I had looked at being a pharmacist, and then I realized as I looked into those programs that nothing held my attention the way that medicine did, of being the doctor. And being able to go to an area like Big Rapids, where I've worked in other rural health clinics, and being the doctor in a small area is a great way to serve the community. But there's also an intimacy that you get when you're somebody's doctor and you know them, and you know their family, and you know their history. It's a good way to make friends, you know? I am Dr. Rachel Williams. I opened a family medicine clinic here in downtown Big Rapids. You can call us at 616-570-4776. Find us on Facebook with Williams Family Medical or online williamsfamilymedical.com.